Add daw, Joanna.
Present.
Anarna.
Present.
Karina. Okay. Arbotante, Michael. Atienza, Vincent.
Present.
Camposo, Kyle. Cascaro, Anthony.
Present.
Sidro, Zarina.
Present.
De La Rosa, Jean. Wala pa. Empensando, Kent.
Present.
Esteva, Christian Dane.
Present.
Estrada, Fatima.
Present.
Galinato, Irish.
Present.
Gatchalian, John Lorenzo.
Present.
Glean, Pedrito.
Present.
Lorenzo, Jose Mari.
Present.
Lucero, Elimer.
Present.
Manalili, Michael.
Present.
Matilia, Gershon.
Present.
Ohika, Royd. Morales, Ram.
Present.
Obierna, John. Oliva, Jobel.
Present.
Pabustan, Earl Jeremy.
Present po.
Parilla, Arvin.
Present.
Pascual, Prince. Pascual, Vince.
Present.
Pasenyo nandito.
Present.
Peña, Joshua.
Present.
Pereda, Lloyd Andrew.
Present.
Pereda, Vernon.
Present.
Refuerzo.
Present.
Remolador. Wala pa. Reyes, Richard.
Present po.
Saclolo, John Vincent.
Present.
San Jose, Hannah. Wala pa si Hannah. Santiago, Amity. Wala. Sinchongko. Sino
Present.
yun? Sino yung nag-present?
Amity.
Amity. Okay.
Sorry.
Viva, Kevin. Wala pa. Yumol, Ken.
Present.
Start. Sir Josh, tanong mo. Okay. Sir Josh, pwede na daw po ba mag-start ng prayer?
Yes.
Dito ka na lang sa akin, palit na lang tayo.
Okay na tayo sa attendance?
Talaga na? Asan yan? Wait lang ako.
Hello po. Good morning po. Start muna tayo. Meron ako.
Magdalaga.
Start muna tayo sa prayer. So, let us remember that we are in the holy presence of the Lord, in the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Amen. Heavenly Father, we thank you for all the blessings that you've given us today. Thank you for allowing us to be gathered and learn from our speakers as they share their knowledge with us. We humbly ask for your guidance as we go through our discussion today. Let us all pray the Lasallian prayer. I will continue, O my God, to do all my actions for the love of you. Saint John Baptist de La Salle, pray for us. Leave Jesus in our hearts.
Forever.
In the Father, and of the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen.
Zig. Zig.
E.
Green.
Pogi mo, Ramon.
Ramon. Tinawag na.
Online inuman na.
Hindi, yun na yun.
Sean.
Okay. Hindi na ba sa atin? Hindi na.
Asok Dean, good morning po.
Good morning po sa lahat. Good morning, my dear fellow ECE students. Despite of the challenges po and difficulties na-experience po natin today, are very lucky and blessed to have this webinar. Special thanks po kay Sir Josh. So today's discussion po will be from our honorable speakers. This will help us broaden our knowledge in the emerging trends and practices in the industry. To start off po, let us all welcome our very own Associate Dean, Engineer Conrado Monzon po. Let us give him a round of applause.
Organizers of this webinar. So in spite of all the challenges that we have, so we'll still have a chance to learn. No? So meron tayong way to learn. And of course, this method and way is a product of the works of ECEs, CPEs, and engineers. No? So we know that this will be the new normal. So with this seminar, sana mag-continue yung learning ng bawat isa sa atin. So despite of all the abnormalities. So thank you and hope na ma-absorb nyo yung mga learnings at lahat ng knowledge na kailangan natin for your growth. Thank you and good morning to everyone.
Thank you po, Sir Aso.
So our first speaker for today has more than 13 years of relevant radio network engineering, access network planning, and technology strategies experience, including large networks, in planning, designing, implementing, and pre-optimizing 2G, 3G, 4G, Wi-Fi, and small cell networks. He has more than 10 years of academic experience as a researcher and professor teaching undergraduate and graduate students. He has published and presented research papers locally and abroad. A licensed professional electronics engineer, ASEAN Chartered Professional Engineer, ASEAN Engineer, Asia Pacific Economic Cooperation Engineer, and the Director of the Access Network Technology Strategy and Planning of Globe Telecoms. Let us all welcome Engineer Gerhard Tan, and let us all give him a round of applause.
Hi, sir.
Hi, good morning, everyone.
Morning, sir.
I
Morning
hope
po.
everyone is well and in good condition at wala pang tumataba sa inyo. During these times, especially quarantine or lockdown period, everyone is really, eating a lot of food.
Yes.
Okay, I hope all is well, and this presentation, I hope it could help you understand about how the telco world works and the different opportunities that after you graduate and pass the board exam, you'll be able to be employed either in Globe, Smart, or the upcoming telco. So I'll start with my presentation. I'll just share the deck and then, yeah. All right. Did you see the share screen?
Yes, sir.
All right. Yeah. So later, maybe if along the course of the discussion, if you have question, you just raise it up, and we'll see how we could answer your question. All right. Now, on the topic that was provided by Joshua, it's focused on access network fundamentals, trends, and career opportunities. Now, when we say access network, it's focused on the customer side going to the telco provider. Now in Globe, we offer two types of customer opportunity in order to be able to access the network. One using your mobile, that's when you are on the go, and the other one is when you're at home. We call that one fixed broadband or at home broadband, or sometimes it on office. So the last mile is basically the technology that connects customer to the service provider, either Globe or Smart. And soon there will be another third telco that will be coming. And they're now building their network also. But it's a long way to go. Now, when we say access network, it's more of connectivity towards the service provider. Now, there is a cell site and you have your phone that will connect both uplink and downlink. So in Globe, we use a variety of last mile technology, or the access connectivity we call. So we have wireless using 2G, 3G, 4G, or LTE, and on fixed wireless broadband, or FWA we call, there's now 5G at home broadband on top of the then 4G LTE at home. So we also provide fixed wired broadband connectivity, or what we call the at-home connectivity via your DSL or VDSL, and then of course your fiber or fiber to the home. So let's understand the mobile communications. We have your call. Using your phone, you initiate voice call to the called party, and then text, SMS, and of course using the internet for your data access.
I know, right? It's so funny. And wait, there's a story I've been meaning to tell you. And it
Hello?
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 Hello? Yeah. Yes. So you know what I told him? I said...
Oh.
It was so annoying. I was talking to Mia a while ago and... Huh?
Yeah, hello. Yeah. Shabika.
What a hassle. Call cutters aren't the best people to talk to, and they can be anyone you know. Don't be fooled by what they say or what they do. As you've seen, they can be very creative when it comes to ending calls. But here's the thing, a call is not just a call. It's a way to connect people. So come on, we all deserve at least a decent goodbye. 1 or 2 words of kindness go a long way. Literally. If you don't believe me, check this out. Here we are at the base station, your phone's connection to the network. Right outside is the base station controller, which connects you to the base station with the strongest signal. It's a simple foodie analogy. The waiters are like your base stations. They take your orders and pass them on to the kitchen. In the same way that the base station establishes the call and patches you through to the network. The manager, on the other hand, makes sure every table is taken care of. Just like how a base station controller makes sure every caller is connected to a base station. Now, if you're wondering about weak signal, look at it from this perspective. Say it's lunchtime or dinner and the restaurant reaches maximum capacity. It can be difficult to manage all the orders. The same thing can happen to base stations. When there are too many subscribers within a base station's area, the BSC will have a hard time assigning radio channels to all of them, especially if everyone is trying to connect at the same time. How about when you're in transit? Well, this is the time when a base station controller needs to do a handover. The BSC always connects you to the nearest base station with the strongest signal. As you travel away from BTSA, your call is handed over to another one closer to you, BTSB, to ensure strong connection. Now, if the base station you're transferred to is full, the call won't be able to get through, which results in dropped calls. Oh, and if you or the person you're calling is beyond the base station's coverage area, then most likely you won't be able to connect and all you'll hear is this.
The subscriber cannot be reached. Please try again later.
Your BTSs are very important since they control the signal in your area. If it fluctuates and becomes really weak, it could be due to interference caused by illegal repeaters. These are devices people put up to improve the signal in their area. The problem is that these antennas and wireless adapters hog bandwidth from cell sites, which interferes with the services of other network users. So there you have it, the science behind a call. See what you have to go through to connect to someone? Now if all you're going to do is cut someone off like this, or this, then maybe it's best to not call at all.
Okay, so that's the foundation of how the GSM works, or how the call and the SMS service looks like. Now, from the base station or the base transceiver station, it's where the entry point they call. It's where you could get the signal for you to be able to initiate voice call, SMS, and of course, internet connectivity. Now, the base station controller is the one that controls and manages the base transceiver station. That's basically located at different areas. Now, it's based on geographical area where these base station controllers are located. So at maximum, basically it's 47 base transceiver station that can be controlled by a BSC. Now, the mobile switching center, or the MSS, is the one that switches, it routes your call towards the called party. If you're calling your family member or your loved one, then it's the switch that's responsible in rerouting your voice call or your SMS. Now, your home location register, or the HLR, is now the mainframe database. It contains all SIM card information number. So once you, for example, you buy your SIM card in BGC, so the HLR located in Taguig will be the one to capture. Okay, that's where you will be home. Now, if you go to Cebu or travel to Cebu, then you will be temporarily held by the VLR or the visitor location register. Okay, because your original home location where you bought and activated your SIM card is in BGC Taguig, where the HLR is located. Now, if you happen to, or vice versa, if you happen to buy your SIM card in Cebu and you activate it in Cebu, then that's where your SIM card will be authenticated in the HLR of Cebu.
Okay? Don't you just hate it when people send a reply like this? I mean, you send this long and meaningful text and all you get is a K. Seriously, don't they know how much effort goes into sending just one message? Composing the text is just half the job. Wait till you see what happens after you press the send button. Say hello to the base station. Basically, what it does is it connects you to the network. There are thousands of base stations to accommodate millions of subscribers across the country. To make sure everything is in check, we've got the base station controllers or BSCs. Think of it this way. In a restaurant setting, the base stations would be your waiters and waitresses. If you want to order, all you have to do is raise your hand and call their attention. The restaurant managers, in this case, are your base station controllers. They make sure every table has someone to attend to the diner's needs at all times. From the BSC, it travels to the Mobile Switching Center Server or MSS, which ensures collected data flows effortlessly from the stations to the network and vice versa. The MSS would be the person in between the servers and the chefs. He's in charge of organizing orders by table, relaying them to the kitchen, and garnishing the dishes before the server takes them out. Like the MSS, this role is crucial since it means putting everything together in a timely and presentable fashion. The MSS then transfers your message to the Short Message Service Center, where your text is temporarily stored until more data is gathered about the recipient. Helping out in this area are the Home Location Register or HLR and the Visitor Location Register or VLR. These two are databases that contain information about all network subscribers. They track down the whereabouts of the texter and the textee to see if the message can be sent. If for some reason your text can't get through, for example, the user's phone is off or out of coverage area, the text will be stored in the SMSC for up to 6 hours. Once the go signal is given, the SMSC sends the message to Textee's Mobile Switching Center server, which connects to base station control, which then forwards it to the base station that will send your K to a very disappointed textee. Whew! See? All that effort just for one text? So, the next time you think of sending that one character reply, think about all this. And more importantly, think of all the effort your textmate went through just to get her message across. Hey, if you want everything to be A-okay, think twice about sending back that K.
So, okay, are the ladies related much? Huh?
That was nice, sir.
Okay, so Short Messaging Service Center is the one that really manage all the texts where we send and receive. So for prepaid, we call the system as an intelligent network. It's the one that manage now the charging for every SMS or text message that you send. So the IN or intelligent network will be the one to provide now the charging mechanism. So let's understand where are we today in terms of the technology, the access technology. So during the good old days, siguro your parents were the one who experienced it, the 1G network where it's purely voice call, where one cell site can only accommodate 8 simultaneous user. Then eventually, way back in 19, that was in 1980s, 82 going to 90s. 90s is now the evolution of the second generation network of GSM, where we have voice and SMS, then eventually evolve into GPRS and Edge, where you could now access internet connectivity. Then as time goes in 2004, 3G had evolved in time where we were able to access internet much more efficient and at higher customer speed. So eventually sometime in 2013, 2014, now came fourth generation network where at higher data throughput, be able to access the internet. Now the key thing here is in 4G, we don't have yet the voice capability, though it was not activated in the network through what we call the voice over LTE, but eventually it will come in time this coming months. Both the two operators will be activating what we call the voice over LTE. So as you notice, when you initiate voice call, when your phone is on LTE mode, it suddenly drops into 3G. Okay, so because 4G doesn't have the voice capability, it's pure data as of the moment. And of course, 4G then eventually evolved now with what we call 5G. So Globe was very active in terms of launching 5G network, where we started way back in 2018, where we technically launched 5G test sites in BGC. Then eventually in 2019, we finally commercially launched 5G last June 2019. So there were identified key CBDs and areas within North GMA and South GMA where we activated 5G at home broadband. And now this year, we're very active also in launching our 5G mobile, where later in the part of the slide, I'm gonna show you. So how do you tell the different signal and signal level in your phone? It depends on the type of your phone, or if it's iOS or Android. So this is what you can see in your signal bar or signal screen. Okay, you have your GPRS, and then Edge, 3G, HSPA. HSPA is high-speed packet access, or HSPA Plus is the enhanced uplink and downlink of 3G version. Then eventually it evolved in LTE. So in GPRS, you have a maximum theoretical throughput of 100 kbps. Wow. And in Edge, you'll be able to access the internet up to, let's say, 300 to 500 kbps, depending on the signal condition. And when you are on 3G, be able to access the internet at 2 Mbps. And if it's enhanced 3G, that's the HSPA and HSPA Plus, can capable on a dual mode, 14 Mbps or even up to 24 Mbps. Then in LTE, the maximum theoretical throughput is experienced up to 100 Mbps. But of course, when a lot of subscribers are latched into the network, then the radio capacity is being shared across the different subscribers. That's why when you are in the areas where it's really congested, horrible customer experience, then sometimes you cannot initiate even voice call because a lot of people are latched into the network, especially when you are in a concert or basketball game where a lot of customers are using their Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, uploading pictures. So there you experience congestion. So in the internet, once you access your mobile data, it now evolves into the architecture of a 3G and or LTE network. So we call the base station controller previously as RNC, radio network controller. So that's the equivalent. Now there is now the injection or the existence of SGSN, GGSN, SASN, and other related network elements. So the SGSN is the one that manages the flow of data between your controllers and your GGSN. It depends on the geographical location of the service area or the target coverage objective. Now, your GGSN is responsible in connecting the service provider towards the internet world or globe network towards the internet. Now, the PCRF is now the one responsible in enforcing policies and charging. So we have this fair use policy. If you abusively use the network and you keep on downloading a lot of files, big files, movies, and all that, so you'll be throttled to a certain speed in order that other subscriber will also be able to access the network. So your SASN is the one that manages traffic policy control and data collection. So policy control, once you enforce it in the PCRF, so SASN will be the one to execute it. When we say traffic, it's traffic going to the internet and vice versa. That's why sometimes you experience once a lot of people are accessing the internet, experience also traffic. Traffic not in the network, but rather going outside the network towards the internet. So they're uplink and downlink towards the internet. Your DNS is the one that provides now the IP address needed to access the web page. Because for every transaction, it translates to a certain IP address assigned to every user. That's why we call every execution of transaction, there's a corresponding provided IP address in order for you to be able to access the internet. Now, of course, that's within the domain of connecting within the Philippines. Once you go outside the Philippines, we call that one roaming. So there are a lot of roaming partners across the globe where, like in Globe, we call that one Singtel partners. So because Globe is co-owned by Singtel and the Ayala. Now there are other operators within Singapore, Australia, Softus, and Telkomsel, AT&T in US, and South Korea Telecom in Korea, and then Taiwan Mobile, and then Europe, Telefonica, AIS in Thailand, Telkomsel is Indonesia, and the rest STC in Saudi. So how does it work? Now, from the base station, going to a certain gateway within Globe, the roaming gateway. So it contains 3 levels, the GRX, GMSC, and clearinghouse, going to another operator abroad. So like, for example, Singtel, and outside going to their respective base station. So the clearinghouse, it allows now the partner telecom company or service provider to serve each other's customer by sharing data on billing and subscribe services. So that's why there are roaming charges once we go abroad and we initiate voice call and data service there. So you'll be paying basically the toll fee, okay, of Globe going to Singtel and Singtel going to Globe. So there are fixed prices agreed between the two parties. Now, why do we need to register to roaming? We need to register to roaming in order that the agreed values between Globe and, for example, Singtel, like, for example, 599, all in voice call and data, then that's the one that you'll be paying on a daily basis. Now, if you are not subscribed to roaming, then you'll be paying the fee in Singtel, and at the same time, another toll fee going to Globe. So you incur roaming charges, which I experienced this one long time ago when I went to Mobile World Congress in Barcelona, long time way back 2014. when I get back to Manila after a 10 day trip in Barcelona, my roaming charges is up to 185,000 pesos. Because during those days, roaming agreement is not yet that prevalent. So that's why I incurred that charge. It's the company who paid it. Now, what do we do when something doesn't work? So these are some key questions where a lot of subscriber usually ask and experience. Can't connect to the net, no signal, can send SMS, can't make voice call, can receive SMS, can browse the internet or slow browsing, roaming, no signal. So here are some basic troubleshooting that allows us to quick win with the problem and isolate the issue. Now, of course, we need to check SIM card, do some resetting, of course, and of course, understand the network. Now, we need to perform hard restart, which usually most of us does it on and off, or reinsert again the SIM card to another phone, and then insert back to your phone. And then when I'm inside the building, I get no signal. Why is it? Now, it depends on your location and the location of the cell site serving you. Your signal may be lost due to large or huge attenuation. So how to fix it? Now, building structure is the key element, in a lot of signal decomposition, what we call attenuation. So if you live in a building where the wall is really thick and you have a serving cell site outside, then you experience really a very huge signal degradation from a full bar suddenly goes down to 3 bar or even 1 bar only. So if the signal quality is not good, then very difficult to access, especially the internet. That's why a lot of customer complain inside condos. Once this condos doesn't have what we call the indoor cell site or the in-building solution, then a lot of issues is being experienced by the customer. Now, in building signal problem checklist, there are some buildings where it's really only PLDT is exclusive in that building to put in their in-building solution, or in that subdivision where you are located, it's only Smart PLDT that's there and Globe wasn't there. That's why if you're a Globe subscriber, then you experience really no signal or weak signal. Also understand, are you in a new building and was the building recently renovated, because this will affect also the signal transmission. And are other Globe subscriber experiencing the same difficulty where you are? In most cases, especially in customer troubleshooting, we experience this one where customers living in condos or high-rise condominium, they have difficulty in going through the network because they have only 1 bar or even worse, no signal at all. And that's why the recommendation is that to subscribe to at-home broadband via wired, so that you'd be able to propagate through Wi-Fi. Now, these are the indoor equipment where we usually implement in corporate buildings, malls, airports, in order to be able to have indoor signal, especially on those big buildings, corporate buildings, where if there is no in-building solution, you barely can get signal from the outdoors. So it ranges from a big passive, active, or hybrid in-building distributed antenna system, and also those using small cell or femtocell we call. So let's talk also in understanding why your signal in a certain village or subdivision wasn't good, because the cell site are most likely located outside the premise of the subdivision, and the subdivision or gated communities doesn't want to have any eye-soaring cell site inside their community. That's why it's only at the outskirts where cell sites are located. And now, when you're in the middle, really, it's a challenge on receiving a good signal quality. So I'm not getting any signal. I'm inside the building. How come? Remember, signal loss or attenuation is the big factor. So this coverage hole, now this picture depicts now about how you experience no signal or poor signal quality. Maybe you're located at the middle of 3 serving cell site and you are located in what we call coverage hole. That's why you experience poor signal quality. So once they optimize the site, you'd be able to, because the optimization engineer will be the one to optimize the site and the increased signal power of the nearby serving cell site. That's why there are some sort of improvement in terms of the connectivity towards the base station. Now, worse is, especially when you're living on CBD, is what we call the signal blockage. You're serving cell sites located in the other side of the building, and you're located on the next building where you are being blocked by a high-rise building. So that's why you'll experience poor signal on the other side. So you need to build, we need as an operator to build another cell site to serve you on the other side.
Hello! Ito po si Kuya Kim at welcome po sa Signal Report. Nakakatuwang isipin na dahil sa patuloy na pagmamodernize ng network infrastructure ng globe, mabubuti ng signal transmission at mas na-e-enjoy na ang lakas at bilis ng 4G network. Ngunit sumasabay sa pag-e-enjoy ng karamihan ng subscribers ay ang pamumuo ng signal feed sa ilang bahagi ng bansa. Hinahatak nito ang dapat na malakas na signal mula sa ilang subscribers. Sinasabi na ang pamumuo at paghatak ng signal na ito ay mula sa mga tinatawag na illegal signal boosters. Ang mga illegal repeaters o illegal signal boosters tulad nito ay mga device na kinakabit sa loob o labas ng bahay at opisina. Kasama din dito ang mga tinatawag na RFID na gumagamit ng unauthorized frequencies upang hilahin at agawin ang signal o transmission na para dapat sa lahat ng subscribers. At may mga komplikasyon na dinudulot ang paggamit ng illegal repeaters. Nagdudulot ito ng matinding network interference tulad ng dropped calls, garbled lines, choppy lines, robot voice registry, at syempre, weak or no signal. Dahil sa mga dinudulot nito, illegal ang paggamit ng mga signal boosters. Nasasaad sa Memorandum Order 0102-2013 ng National Telecommunications Commission na mahigpit na pinagbabawal ang pagbebenta, pagbili, pagmamay-ari at paggamit nitong mga illegal na signal boosters. Kaya mula 2011, maraming kaso na ng illegal sellers ng mga signal boosters ang naresolba. Patuloy ang pag-improve ng globe sa lahat ng mga network facilities and infrastructures, kasama sa plano ang paglaban sa mga illegal sellers. Ayaw natin ang dropped calls, choppy lines at weak signal. Kaya naman dapat, say no to illegal sellers, no to illegal signal boosters, and no to illegal repeaters. Maraming salamat po sa panonood. Muli ito po si Kuya Kim para sa Signal Report.
Okay. Also another question is, I can't feel the difference with the new network. I'm still experiencing drop call. Now, drop call will always be there. But of course, what we're doing to minimize the occurrence is to optimize the network. Almost every week, we do performance checking in every cell site. Actually, every day, we do performance checking in all cell sites across the country in order to validate if there are peaks in terms of traffic, in terms of poor performance in identified areas. And that's where we do the optimization. So why I am getting delayed SMS? Now, SMS are queued and requeued when it fails to reach the intended recipient the first time. It's like in our data communication, when packets of information are sent from a source to a destination. Now they queue from packet 1, 2, 3, 4, and so forth. Now, if there is no acceptance at the receiver side, when I say acceptance, no acknowledgement or NAC, now there is na repeat retransmission of packets of information. So until such time that the receiver will end successfully receive the information at the receiver end. I thought you already have LTE enabled. Why is my browsing slow? Now, of course, there are some users that still use legacy phones. That's why it depends also on your location, if it's congested or not congested, and then your phone that you're using, because every cell phone has what we call the cell phone category. So if the category of your phone does not meet the category of an LTE technology, then you'll experience only 3G and even 2G. So of course, on slow browsing, we go mobile. So people move from one location to another. That's why in mobility, it may be that within your location, you are being served only by 3G or 2G, especially when you are at the cell edge. Then once you go nearer to the cell side, that's where you experience now faster speed. So we also offer a fixed network aside from our wireless access network. So you have your DSL that uses copper as a telephone line to send and receive information. This is what we call now your at-home broadband, subscribed by a DSL line. And now our DSL is asymmetric. When say asymmetric, your download speed is much higher than your upload speed. So there are some recent technologies and emergence of new technology that now balances to become symmetric in nature. So of course, your digital subscriber line has this architecture. At home, you have your modem, and then it goes through a central terminal. That's your cross-connect cabinet, going to an IP network and to the internet. Now, your DSL speed is dependent on the customer distance to the central office. Once you are very far from the central office, then you'll experience low data throughput. Why? It's because of the attenuation. Copper has a very high loss as compared to fiber, which really delivers high capacity. Now, of course, most of our DSL line had evolved into a VDSL, the very high-speed digital subscriber line, which can offer a higher data throughput. Now, your GPON or your Gigabit passive optical network, it uses now the fiber technology, and data are transmitted via light. So it goes as fast as 1 gigabits per second or even higher. So that's the promise actually of your GPON. Depending on your subscription to your fiber to the home, okay, it has corresponding premium or value kasi, or cost or amount. Now, if you subscribe to higher data plan, then it's a bit expensive also. So here is how it looks like on the GPON network architecture. You have your optical network unit. That's the CPE located at the customer premise. And the splitter that splits towards the different subscriber or different residences. And the optical line terminal is the one that translates into your cross-connect cabinet in the VDSL architecture or DSL architecture, and goes to a certain IP network going to the internet. Now, there are some over-the-top services. That's your Viber, Skype, messaging, WhatsApp, okay, WeChat, and Line, Talk, and of course, your media or content, Netflix, and so music streaming, yung mga news, CNN. So all these things are what we call the over-the-top services. So the current trends now in the telco world is now about, everyone's talking about 5G. So 5G or fifth generation network offers a lot of services and focus more of delivering speed through enhanced mobile broadband, and then ultra reliable low latency, those for manufacturing, and your massive machine type communication for your IoT. So it goes into culminating it in the cross connecting it to deliver smart city, or what we call the intelligent city environment, delivering also the AR/VR capability to remote surgery, and soon the autonomous vehicle control. So you just sit back and relax without manually driving your car. So it's being automated by the signal across, and through AI, it's being manipulated, and you'll just sit back there while driving, while automatically driving, going to your destination. So of course, we launched Air Fiber last, that's June 2018. Then in June 2019, we commercially launched the 5G Air Fiber home broadband. That's you can see at the rightmost, we offer at maximum of 100 Mbps download speed per customer. But during the launch, we were able to achieve 2.567 gigabits per second. That's the maximum line throughput that we were able to achieve live in June 2018. So of course, recently, just this year, in February, we commercially launched our mobile 5G mobile through Huawei's Mate. So this you can see, we offer this plan to platinum subscriber only. So Huawei's phone's a bit expensive. I think it's 74,000 pesos. That's the cost of the value of the cell phone.
How much po ulit, sir, again?
Sorry?
How much po ulit, sir?
That's 74,000 pesos.
Wow.
So that's why they just offer it for platinum subscribers. Platinum subscriber has a monthly bill of 5,000 pesos going to 10,000 or even more. So your monthly bill as a platinum subscriber is 5,000 pesos. Sooner or later, there will be a lot of other phone manufacturers, the likes of Samsung, LG, aside from Huawei and even Apple. And then those local brands will be offering much cheaper. Of course, basic law of economics, higher demand, it now goes down into lower price offer. So to date, still a bit expensive, but sooner or later, similar to 3G phone before and 4G, that you can buy as low as 5,000 pesos or even cheaper, 4,000. You could buy a 3G or 4G handset. So of course, in time, we're also looking into perspective of augmented reality and virtual reality as part of a product perspective of 5G. So this will help also to online grocery, watching movie via VR or AR, and then viewing sceneries, good sceneries. So rather than physically traveling there, you'll just use your AR Google, then you'll be able to see good sceneries. Now, of course, in virtual reality, you'd be able to experience, especially in the medical field, to use robot in doing the surgery, and you're the one on the other side or other part of the globe doing the operation. So these are some key promises of the technology that we'll be looking at in the next couple of months. Also is what everyone talks about. It's more of smart city. Basically in Globe, we don't call it smart city. We call it intelligent city. Well, it's not on the fact that it's competitor, but there's really a technical definition on that. When we say smart, you're just automating the device. When we say intelligent, you're now putting intelligence. There is now the existence of AI. There is now the existence of analytics in every devices that will be deployed across buildings, streets, okay? All the sensors now have intelligence and analytics capability. So to name a few is the intelligent home, where You can control the different devices once you go out of your condo. So there is an automatic locking system of your door. And of course, while when you go inside, your light will automatically put on because of the motion sensor that it senses that there is somebody moving, and light is needed in order to see. And of course, on the television, you'd be able to just say, Alexa, you put on channel 5. So the television will automatically put on, and you'll be launched towards channel 5. So all these things are part of the intelligent home uh, sensor and connectivity. So apart from that is on the efficiency portion, is now the energy management system where it manages your power or energy consumption. So it efficiently monitors every sensor, and likewise on power metering and water metering for you to be able to understand your consumption both on water and power. So also, we're inviting researchers aside from my team, where I have several master's, master's degree students and staff, and likewise undergraduate interns. So we started this one last year, the digitalization of globe towers. So basically, as you can see, we deployed some sensors to monitor if, like for example, the rightmost portion, this tissue holder. Once the tissue is out already, the sensor will beep. Okay, our staff, maintenance staff, that they need to refill. So they need not to go every now and then to the CR to validate if there is still tissue or not. So it will now automatically inform through SMS our maintenance staff that the tissue holder is out of tissue already, so they need to refill it. So another is a motion sensor. The lights at the at this walkway will put off if there will be no people walking here during starting 8 o'clock in the evening onwards until 6 a.m. So of course, during office hour, this won't work because once it's during office hour, you put the light off, then wow, you'll create disaster inside the office. Now, of course, agile workplace on the leftmost lower. So each and every workstation. So once there is nobody sitting there, so you can see in the dashboard that seat number 1, nobody's occupying it. Once there is, the employee will be sitting here. There's a dot indicating that employee is present. So inside the conference room and conference room management, once nobody is doing, or nobody inside the conference room doing some meeting, everything will be lights off. TV will also be lights off or put on dormant mode. And then of course, the aircon will also be shut down. Once you open the conference room, then automatically the lights will on. So this is because of the motion sensor and other sensors that was placed in that location. So our building, our vision is, to translate it to become intelligent building. So our everyday, we experience a lot of people meeting outside the conference room. That's why we need to enhance efficiency inside conference room management or usage of conference room. So if nobody's using it, it will automatically indicate in our concerns that conference room A is available. So no need for you to sightseeing inside the conference room, as you can see in this picture. And likewise, also on disposal and tissue handling. So that's our problem. Now, when after after using or after deploying the sensor, so it's very clean now. Now on workstations, some are not using efficiently the different workplace or the workstations assigned to them. That's why they stay on the common hallway where there are available seats there. Now, because of agile workplace management, we'll be able to efficiently, use and maximize our workstation. So these are the different sensors that was created by my students in the masters and in the undergrad. So we use, of course, Arduino and some sort of simplified sensors. Now, the next step here is we're gonna have the manufacturing firm develop based on our proposed systems architecture and system design. So we partner with Integrated Microelectronics as being an Ayala-owned company to soon manufacture the different designs that we did in order to deliver the different solution to this everyday challenge. So how do we see telco in the next couple of years to come, and what are the career opportunities? Of course, in today's time, it's a challenging moment because of the pandemic, global pandemic of COVID-19, and hiring of employees are put on hold or put on halt. Now we'll still have a lot of hiring though. Maybe after this pandemic, then there will be for sure openings, not only in Globe but also with other competitors, especially that the third telco will be coming in. So I started in Globe as an RF engineer. I do planning, engineering, system design of cell site in the access domain. So I do the planning where the cell site's located, capacity planning, and also systems engineering. Now, there are other uh, jobs or careers within the telco. We call that one transmission engineer on the right side is the one responsible in delivering the transport layer of the telco network architecture. So microwave, fiber, and E-band, V-band radio is the one doing the network propagation analysis, link to link, point to point, and point to multi-point. So another, as you can see on the lowermost, operation and maintenance engineer. These are the home-based engineers where depending on the locality of where they belong, so they do maintenance, operation and maintenance of all the cell site, switches. And so we call that one the lower rightmost, the core network engineer, who's responsible to do the design of switches, maintenance of switches, and assessment in terms of capacity of the different switches that manage the different network elements, the like of base transceiver station and base station controller. Of course, another telecom implementation engineer, they're the one building the cell sites. And the project manager is the one that manages the different projects from access, transport, core, and even backend. The network operation engineer, by the way, the operation and maintenance engineer, the O&M, 24/7 ng mga to. So even the network operation center engineer, NOC engineer, they're the one to monitor. If there are faults, there are discrepancies, there are cell sites that are down. So they are the one to see, to manage it, and likewise also to do system rectification remotely. Most of our network operation center are really the type like it's like a NASA, very big screen. Oh, sorry, I cannot put the picture of our NOC. It's a bit confidential. But we have a very, how do I call this one? State-of-the-art network operation center, comparing it with our competitor. So it's really multi-billion peso network operation center. Sooner or later, if some of you will be hired there, mapapawaw ka. Superb. So we also hire data scientists actually. So they are the one correlating and translating raw network information and validate the viability to translate it into a revenue generating data information. That's why data scientists, they call it the sexiest job daw in the telco. Not only in the telco, but across the different careers, not only in the telco world. So these are some of the important career opportunities where you can find in Globe and likewise maybe in other competitors. So without much ado, I thank you for this opportunity. I'm Hard. So I hope you've learned something in this webinar, and you'd be able to foresee yourself after taking the board soon, after graduating, of course, first, and taking the board exam soon. So if you have questions, I welcome you to share also.
All right. Thank you so much, Sir Hard. Guys, do you have any questions? Jesus. Opening up the floor, guys, for questions. Do you have any questions? You may post it to our chat, or if you have, if you want to ask with your mic, you may raise your hand. Guys, naririnig niyo ba ako, guys?
Sir. Narinig po. Yes, sir.
Okay, don't be shy because sooner or later, when you undergo interview with the HR of companies, then well, you must not be ashamed of yourself.
Yes,
You must be
yes.
vocal.
And seize the moment, guys. You don't get to ask questions to the director of access network in Globe Telecoms. You don't get to chat to a high-ranking employee in Globe, no? Every now and then. So seize the moment. Guys, do you have any questions? Na-mute ko ba or what? You can, I think I have already enabled yung ating Zoom group chat. You can post your questions there, or you can message me privately if you want to ask a question. Sir, ako may question.
Sure.
Globe is Smart is marketing LTE while Globe is marketing 4G. What is basically their difference, or are they even different?
No, they're not different at all because 4G, LTE is a family of 4G. So it's the same, it's just a naming convention. So 4G is LTE.
Mm-hmm. I think Jarlo has a question here.
Sure.
Jarlo, nasan ka? Jarlo. Yan. Jarlo, I have unmuted your mic. Do you have any question?
Yes po. Ang question ko po yung sa signal problem po. Na kung may epekto po ba yung different na pinoprovide. Di ba po bawat signal tower po may iba din po frequency na pinoprovide. May epekto din po ba yun sa signal problem po kung nahihirapan po ba siyang mag-pass through ng walls kapag iba po yung frequency na pinoprovide ng tower?
Yes, I strongly agree. Now, on that question is that let's go back to the basic law of physics. Okay, the higher the frequency, the higher its attenuation. The lower the frequency, the lower its attenuation. And also the coverage distance that will greatly affect now your depending on your location to the serving side. Now, at lower frequency, of course, lambda is equal to speed of light over frequency, diba? So when like in 900 megahertz, so the coverage distance is a bit far as compared to a 2600 megahertz where it can only cover up to a maximum of 800 meters away from the serving side. So that really makes the difference. In terms of attenuation, at 2600, you have a very high loss because of walls as compared to a 900 megahertz. Kaya mapapansin mo sa signal bar mo, kapag ka naka-LTE ka and then papasok ka sa isang building na thick ang wall niya, di ba? Nagda-downgrade into 3G or even GSM. Kasi nawawalan ka na ng LTE signal. LTE signal at a higher frequency. Those are the dynamics in terms of the impact for weak signal or low signal inside the building.
Thank you po.
Okay.
Yeah. Thanks, Jarlo. Our next question will be coming from Jean. Unmuting you, Jean. Go ahead, Jean. Jean? Genten. We'll move to Genten siguro muna. Genten?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, please proceed.
Sir, I have a question po regarding po kung anong microcontroller po yung ginagamit nyo dun sa mga sensors po na pinag-digitalize nyo po sa Globe Tower po.
Well, yung project to start with, we use Arduino to start. Some yung mga existing na nasa remote site management namin where it's located in our cell site. So when I say remote site management, these are the sensors that controls now the aircon, the lighting system, also the generator, electricity, video surveillance in a cell site. Okay, so it comprises of different controllers siya, depending on the brand. So some I encounter some sensor they use Raspberry, and even Arduino, nagulat nga ako eh. As simple as Arduino, commercialize siya. That's why in Globe we are encouraging student interns and soon maybe professionals to become researchers also and take their masters while they are working in Globe. They are also encouraged to take their masters.
Thank you, sir.
Welcome.
All right. Mr. Pabustan is next. Unmuting your mic. Please go ahead, Earl, Jeremy.
Hello po, sir. May question lang po about po dun sa no voice peer sa 4G. Ngayon. Sabi niyo po kanina na as of now, wala pa po siyang capability na yung parang hindi po mag-draft yung signal from 4G to 3G. Sa near future po ba, is ma-adapt na po niya yung capability na or sa 5G na po siya mag-upgrade like wala nang ganung scenario sa 5G like mag-adapt sa 4G doing voice calls or ayun po.
Yeah, actually meron. We are just waiting sa launching. Magkakaroon ng voice over LTE or VoLTE. Okay, meron din tayong tinatawag na counterpart niya sa Wi-Fi, voice over Wi-Fi. May mobile app ka na voice over Wi-Fi, okay? And then you could use your Wi-Fi to deliver voice connectivity. So parang seamless siya na nag-i-initiate ka sa 2G, 3G mo ng voice call. Now on 5G, meron din tayong tinatawag na voice over 5G new radio. So maybe after launching VoLTE, baka next year na yun, voice over 5G. Both may systems capability such that hindi lang siya na-activate because of may corresponding na recurring cost siya.
All right. Thank you, sir. We have next question coming from Darren. Sabi niya, sir, fully implemented na po ba yung 5G? May paraan ba na mag-upgrade yung 4G SIM card namin to 5G kahit prepaid SIM subscriber lang kami?
To date, we just recently started last year yung pag-i-implement ng 5G. So hindi pa ganun ka-robust yung signal. Spotted pa lang. Identified locations pa lang. Pero sooner or later, once na maging robust na yung signal, madami na yung mga cell site na na-activate yung 5G, then of course, prepaid will be offering prepaid at a good value proposition. So let's just await, and of course I'm very sure in the near future availability of 5G phone will now become will be offered at a lower price, and this will become a disruptive technology also in the legacy network or legacy phones that we have. That's why the trend really, everyone's talking about, wow, 5G, 5G, 5G everywhere. And even yung cause nga ng coronavirus, 5G din.
Nice. I think Jolo has a question. Jolo Gatchalian, please go ahead.
Sure.
Sir, so regarding po sir sa 5G po, no, there are a lot of yung mga concerns po, lalo na po regarding sa safety. Not talking about the coronavirus thing. No, there are like other concerns yung mga tao kasi iniisip na yung mga gitong high frequency, yung mga ganun. I'd just like to ask, what are your thoughts on this, and why is it like that people think that way, na paminsan may mga article at ako nakita na nagdi-disrupt daw sa mga bird migration, yung mga ganun daw.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on this?
Sure. I like that question because when I attended the UP conference about radiation hazard, so that's one of the key topics, and I'm the one who delivered the discussion actually. Now, to answer your question, as simple as when we studied atom or yung subatomic level, it's just answering like the power emitted by cell sites starting from 700 megahertz up to the high of 3.5 gigahertz. It does not have that strong amount of energy to break to the subatomic level that will now create, a strong energy field that will self-sustain itself and become hazardous, or it becomes radioactive. So that's why in most engineers who are in the operation and maintenance team, when they are troubleshooting a cell site, when they are in front of the microwave, they just experience hotness. So there are two things in understanding the electromagnetic spectrum. One is that frequency is non-ionizing, and the other one is ionizing. All RF frequencies or radio frequencies belonging to that frequency range are non-ionizing elements. While like the X-ray, those gamma rays, these are ionizing element which can, destroy your cells. It can break to the subatomic level that it creates a self-sustaining energy field that will now create radiation. So that's basically the reason why up until now there was really no real or strong case that people are having cancer sickness because of cell site. So up until now, even at the international level, the International Atomic Energy groups, they don't have really a concrete, actual case telling that this cancer was caused because of that cell site that's nearby. Maybe it's more of advertising, especially or informing the general public about cell site, and it's not really causing radiation hazard to the people. That's why we're partnering across from DOH to the UP College of Medicine and other medical organizations out there that we are evangelizing that cell sites are not the cause of cancers. Oh, I hope I was able to answer your question in a
Yes, sir.
most
Thank you po,
technical
sir.
way. Yeah.
Okay, thanks, Jolo. Our last question would be coming from Jean. Jean, I think I have... Jean? Mr. De La Rosa? Mukhang hindi okay yung mic niya. But his question, Sir Hard, is about VOLTE. Sabi niya, VOLTE will be activated soon. What's the advantage versus the current 3G system?
Well, activating voice over LTE will now create another pipe for voice traffic. So another opportunity to decongest 2G and 3G. So it's now an additional opportunity also to be able to access your voice capability in the LTE technology. Sooner or later, either 2G or 3G will be replacing it to be fully LTE. So we're just understanding the traffic behavior now between 2G and 3G and either of the two, depending on cost dynamics and the technology capability, then one will be deactivating it and refarming the spectrum to be able to operate on an LTE. LTE is much efficient in terms of delivering data services to the customer because this brings now an opportunity for faster user throughput.
Ayun, sabi ni Jean, the answer was clear po. Thank you daw, sir.
Okay, welcome.
I think last question na lang, sir, will be
Sure,
coming.
sure.
Any career advice or tips you want to share, skills that you think are needed and are relevant, required to be an RF engineer and a field engineer? Ano yung tingin yung traits that should stand out or that are needed for these students who will be graduating soon na interested to be an RF or a field engineer?
Well, you must be physically fit, stay healthy. That's number one. Number two is on technical competency. It will come along the way kasi. So you'll be honed by your chosen career path, depending if you go RF, if you go operation and maintenance, then you'll be honed eventually. Trainings will be provided. There are series of actual training and also those technical training being provided by the company. A lot of amazing training in Globe. Wala akong masabi doon.
Kailangan alam mo lahat, sir. Tama ba?
No, not necessary na alam mo. But at foundational, you must be also well-versed with COM 1 to 4, of course. Diba? Andyan yung foundational na COM 1, Digicom, and then Datacom, and yung fourth is wireless COM. Diba? If you want to really go on wireless. And sometimes universities offer also wired communication at the same time in tandem with wireless. So in most technical interview, they usually ask students or graduate professionals to draw network architecture of GSM or even 3G and 4G for them to understand if whether or not you are really applying for the right job and right position. So, of course, just be yourself and be open to the interviewee or interviewer, I should say, to the HR and to the technical manager or hiring manager. And just tell them what you know. And look at their eyes. Don't be shy. Because the problem with engineers is that they have something in their mind, a lot of information, brilliant information, but the problem is they cannot express themselves. They have difficulty expressing themselves. So, pagdating ng formal interview, nauutat na sila, hindi na nila alam kung anong next answer. English, hindi nila ma-express, was this and where. And then biglang, sir, Tagalog na lang, anak ng tipaklong. You're applying into an international company, then hindi ka marunong mag-English, di ba? So, nowadays, well, competency is being developed. So I guess it's about finding the right job and love your job soon. Because you will not be elevated in the corporate ladder kung hindi mo mahal ang job mo at hindi mo gusto. Just ended up transfer kay Globe, biglang nag-transfer kay Smart, or nag-transfer kay Accenture, pupunta sa Mitsubishi, pupunta sa bangko, and then wala na. So hanggang engineer 1 and 2 ka na lang naglalaro. Diba? If you really want to climb the corporate ladder, love your job and enjoy what you're doing. That's what I did.
Yes. Ayan. Wow. That's some nuggets of wisdom right there. And he truly is enjoying his job, guys. He's Gerhard. If you see his Facebook posts, grabe, he's all around. He's with ICEP. He's with the Physics Association. He's publishing papers on triboelectric. Grabe. Sobrang active. He really loves his work. I don't really get, sir, how you manage to prioritize all this, publishing papers while working in Globe, managing people. Wow. Isa sa mga lodi ko talaga to si Sir Hard. And he's really very approachable. Actually, we have only met, I think, once sa isang ICEP general meeting sa Manila noon. And he was very warm and welcoming sa akin. Kahit hindi kami magkakilala. And then I simply asked him through Messenger if we can, if I could invite him to do this webinar. And he said yes. Thank you so much, Sir Hard.
Welcome,
Guys,
Joshua.
please express your thanks to Sir Hard. I'm enabling the chat group. Please say thank you to him. Thank you so much, sir, sa yung time for spending with us. Before we end, siguro, we could do a group picture.
Yeah, sure.
Ayan. So, guys, please turn on all your cameras. Ayos-ayos ng buhok ng kaunti. Punas-punas ng laway, kung meron man. Yung mga nagkape, yung mga kumagat ng mga sandwiches. Okay. Philip, Hilot, Ranger, Ramses, Vincent Bautista, turn on your cameras, please, if you can. Ayan. Sir, we are all in all 97 here.
Wow.
Yes,
so
yes.
big.
This is the whole 5th year class. Hindi pa nga ata, sir, kumpleto. Pero some are watching sa YouTube. I have also made this on YouTube Live, although unlisted siya for our own, for our internal consumption. All right. So, guys, there are 3 pages here kasi hindi kayo ma-contain within 1 page. I'm not sure kung paano ko ilalagay si Sir Hard per page, but get ready. All right, in the count of 3, let's strike your best smile. Ready? 3. Wait lang, may nag-chat. Ready? 3, 2, 1, smile. One more para sa next page. I'm going to do this by page kasi. The next page. Ready? 3, 2, 1, smile. All right. Last one. Last one. Page 3. Okay, guys. In 3, 2, 1, smile. All right. Thank you very much for your cooperation, guys. Once again, let us all thank Sir Hard for his time despite his busy schedule. Let's all, Ayan, I have unmuted you all. Bigyan natin ng warm round of applause.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you po. Stay safe po sa COVID.
Po, sir.
Thank you po.
Hard for
Jason Matilia.
Tayo po ako sa Globe.
Thank you, sir.
Palminion de la Cruz.
Anthony Cascaro.
Bye po, sir.
Bye-bye. Ingat sa lahat and enjoy your holiday while you are on a quarantine mode. Okay?
Yes.
So you have the opportunity to study your lesson and be able to pass your board exam soon.
Yes.
Okay, keep safe, everyone, and God bless you all.
All right. Thank you so much.
Bye-bye.
See you for webinar. Thank you, Sir Hard. Bye-bye po.
Thank you too. Bye-bye.